Foxwood food forest. Year number 3. Year number 3. That is a red delicious apple there. And it needs a pollinator. It needs something with different blooms. It's not self-fertile. And for whatever reason, my Macintosh doesn't want to put out blooms. So we're gonna see if the spring of 2019 will bring a different result. But so far, no apples. And this is year 3. So hopefully year 4 will do it. But we're getting enough chill hours for that Macintosh. For whatever reason, it has not bloomed. I might have been pruning it too hard because it's always had so much internal growth. So I'm gonna prune it internally this year, anything sticking up and towards the middle, but otherwise I'm gonna let it do its thing. And I think they're about where I can let them do that. Of course, I'm gonna top them off because I don't want them getting 15 feet tall. Next up, pear trees. All right, last set. 2 pear trees. Bartlett pear. That's a big tree. Big tree, boy. And then airs. And finally, the branches are starting to spread out some after lots and lots of pruning. Got about 9 feet on them. I've pruned them back to 8 feet every year, but they don't want to stop growing up for I guess the real good reasons. Quick update on my Hale Haven peach. This one was planted not last year, but the year before, so that'd be 2016. Got a bunch of peaches this year. Here you can see them better from below. A bunch of peaches. Still got a few in here I need to pick off the itty bitty ones. But the tree's doing well, got a lot of new growth. Not to mention the peaches that have already set. A couple on there need to get picked off. This one, got a little bitty one. This one. This one. Those aren't. I mean, they're not hard to pick off either. The tree's already said those aren't staying. So there's one over there. Yeah, they're basically just falling off when I touch them. Anyway, Hale Haven peach. It didn't have, I don't think, any peaches on it last year, and it's every bit of 7 feet tall now. I'm 6 feet basically. Don't know if you can see that, but I'm 6 feet, so give you an idea. Good looking tree. Next to the Hale Haven is my Alberta. Beyond that, I don't know. I know it's in Alberta. I don't know what seasonal variety, but this is the upstate of South Carolina, so it's about 2 weeks behind everything in the lower state, but it's got some peaches on it. Not a ton. It had a bad accident last year, but it's come back. It's doing very well. Alberta peach. All right, so we got the Hale Haven, the Alberta, and this is the Georgia. This one I planted last year, Belle of Georgia. Belle of Georgia peach. It was just a little stick thing when I planted it. Yep. I picked off all the peaches. It was loaded up, but it's only a year old. It's not got enough caliper on it yet, maybe 3/4 of an inch. So I picked off all the peaches, and I mean, it's got tons of new growth. I mean, this was all from last year up to here, and all of this green, all of that green, all of that, all of that, all of these shoots are this year's growth. And I mean, we're really up here only about 2.5, 3 weeks into the growth season. So I expect this tree's gonna grow another 1.5 foot maybe. And then next year, it'll be about like those two and be ready to hold some peaches. So anyway, Belle of Georgia peach doing well in upstate South Carolina. Next, and this one's a little bit in the shade most of the day. It gets 3 or 4 hours of sunlight, direct sunlight, but it stays in the shade in the morning up until about 1 or 2 o'clock. This is an elephant heart plum, and it was just a stick. This year, earlier this year, I planted it I planted it early last year, so it's about a year in the ground. But I mean, it's got tons of new growth on it. It had some flowers on it this spring, but no fruit from it this year. I didn't have a pollinizer or pollinator here that was doing anything. That's my pollinator over there. It was a much smaller tree. I think that was a 1 to 2 foot tree when I ordered, and this was a 2 to 3 foot tree when I ordered. So, I mean, last year it wasn't, but you know, this tall, somewhere in there. So, anyway, elephant heart plum doing well in upstate South Carolina. Trees there, and there is my plum. This is my pollinizer or pollinator that I've got over here. This is a blue damson plum, and you see I've watered it a little bit, but I realized it just wasn't growing. It was all stunted, and so that's the new growth from this year, just that little bit of green there. But I dug it up earlier in the spring and dug around it, and that is what I dug. I mean, you kind of see the dirt sort of piled up right there. And I mean, it was just cakey, gross looking clay dirt. I didn't do a good job of digging that hole apparently. And so I came back and dug it out about 2 feet wide, all the way around, and about 2 feet deep. And put some compost in there, mixed it in a little bit with the native dirt, which is just clay, obviously. And anyway, it's still living. It might put on some new growth this year, but I suspect it's going to need to put roots back down and get reestablished. So it's probably a year out from really putting on any new growth like that one did this year. That's impressive. That's probably double the growth of last year in just about a month's time of having decent growing weather for that other tree. So blue damson plum, upstate South Carolina. Good high expectations for this one. Next on the list, and I'm excited about these. I bought these from my wife, but then I kind of liked them a whole lot myself. These are cherry trees. I have 2 Rainiers. I did 3 in 1 hole. It may look like I've got a lot of dirt out here, so why plant in a 3 in 1 hole setting? But here's the problem with upstate South Carolina. I'll find some in a second and show you, but I'll get back to that. So we got 2 Rainiers and 1 coral champagne. We had a couple cherries on the tree, but they've gone missing. So I don't know if they ripened up and then got eaten by birds, or if they just fell off because the tree's still kind of young. So anyway, lots of new growth on those this year, which is good. Not so much on the Rainiers as on that coral champagne, which tends to like the hotter weather a little bit more than the Rainiers. So we'll see how they do. We got about 6 inches of new growth on that one, so those are doing great. But real quick, that's why. Yeah, that's a boulder. Yeah, about the size of my house. So, and there's another bit of it up there by the house. So this whole area is just one big boulder with a little bit of topsoil. And by topsoil I mean clay. So work with what you got. Anyway, cherry trees doing well in upstate South Carolina. And by upstate, I do mean upstate. We're about 5 miles from North Carolina. So, good stuff. All right, so we've got the cherries. And then this is a black mission fig. Been in the ground since 2016. And it's doing well. It's kind of slower to get started than everything else up here. It had some tiny, it has some additional shoots that it was trying to get out this year, and I picked those off. I didn't want any more of these. This grew last year, that one shoot there, and that was the year before. So I let that one grow because I kind of wanted a shorter tree. I don't really want one that's super tall. So I let that one grow, but that's just, I'm gonna let it be a forked tree and that's it. Anyway, that one's doing really well, putting out a lot of growth. Looks like we might have had some cold damage up here. But yeah, good looking tree. And I bet you in 3 or 4 weeks, once it has some good hot weather, this thing will have leaves as big as my hat. So anyway, just give it a little bit of time. It'll come out. It'll push some growth out. So, black mission fig. All right, last set. 2 pear trees. Bartlett pear. That's a big tree. Big tree, boy. And then airs. And finally, the branches are starting to spread out some after lots and lots of pruning. Got about 9 feet on them. I've pruned them back to 8 feet every year, but they don't want to stop growing up for I guess the real good reasons. If you like these videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll keep them coming.